Okay, these honorable mentions are not in any specific order. They were just... I have a lot of favorite movies. The ones I told you about before were my top 10 favorite movies, but these could have been on the top 10 list, but I had to take them off just because I like the other ones so much. So, here they are. Air Force One. Fantastic action movie, fantastic acting, fantastic editing, fantastic film score. Harrison Ford is awesome in this movie. Maybe his best movie. Like I said, it was between this and The Fugitive, and I chose The Fugitive just because of one scene, just because of the acting in that scene was so much better than I saw in this movie. But check this movie out, it's awesome. Timeline. Now, I had never heard of this movie before. I saw it at the library, and I thought, that looks kind of interesting, I'll give it a shot. And I watched it, and it's one of those movies that's like a hidden gem that you never hear about, and then you stumble across at the library or online or something, and you're like, I'll give it a shot. And then when you watch it, you're like, wow, this movie is really cool. I watched this movie 3 or 4 times. It's got the feeling of like an epic, like medieval, sword fighting movie, but at the same time, it's got a science fiction twist that is pretty cool. So, yeah. The Patriot. Mel Gibson is a fantastic actor, and he just is unbelievable in this movie. He has so much emotion. It's a fantastic, beautiful movie. The only problem with this movie is it is long. It's almost 3 hours, and it is violent. It's rated R for war violence, and that's it. Other than that, the content is pretty clean, and there's barely any language. Like, the language is kept to a PG level. So, check this movie out. It's a fantastic movie. It's a beautiful movie. I'm not sure how historically accurate it is, but it takes place in a time that is an important part of American history. So, it's a good movie to see, and it brings up a lot of questions as to, family and patriotism and being true to yourself and how far you're willing to go to do the right thing and what is the right thing. So, check that one out. Cinderella Man. This movie is a beautiful, beautiful, fantastic movie, which I would recommend to a lot of people. The only problem is there's a lot of language. A lot. I'm surprised it got away with a PG-13 rating, actually. There's one character, pretty much every other word that comes out of his mouth is some kind of blasphemy or swearing. So that's why I can't recommend this film. The true story, it's about... I'm going to slap myself in the face with this. The true story, and it's about a boxer in, I think it was like the 1920s or the 1930s, during the Great Depression. And it's directed by Ron Howard, and it's just a fantastic, well-shot, well-acted movie. Renee Zellweger, I think that's how you pronounce her name, and Russell Crowe, just their chemistry in this movie is so good. They really feel like a husband and wife dealing with a lot. And this is one of those movies that at the end, it makes you want to stand up and cheer. It makes you want to get out of your seat or out of your bed, depending on where you are when you're watching this, and it makes you want to be like, yes, he made it! Like, I love movies like that, and that's why this is on my honorable mentions. Cape Fear, the 1961, I believe, version. Yeah, 1961. I did a review on this as well. You can check that out. It's a really amazing film. Really dramatic. It brings up a lot of questions that I think us men should ask ourselves about, how far are we willing to go to protect our family and keep our loved ones safe? And where's the line, and what is the line? And questions like that. Questions about evil and good and where the line is between. I would say check it out because it's one of those unknown classics too. So yeah, the original Cape Fear, 1961, starring Gregory Peck, and he's a fantastic actor. He's amazing. Frequency. This movie is amazing. Stars Dennis Quaid and Jim Caviezel. It's a very interesting film. The thing with this movie is it gets dark, like, very fast. The first hour is very interesting, and it feels more lighthearted, and then it takes a very dark turn that you aren't expecting. So, that's just a warning if you decide to watch this movie. But this also brings up the same kind of questions that Cape Fear brings up. How far are you willing to go to protect your family? How far are you willing to go for the people you love? Are you willing to alter history and have other people, including yourself, pay the same consequences or more consequences or different consequences because of your love for your family. Yeah, it's a really cool movie. It's got some really great themes. The characters are really interesting, and oh, my voice is going. It's just a really cool movie, and it's one of those like underrated, unknown, hidden gems. 1957, 96 minutes long. It takes place in one room with 12 angry men. Can you guess the title of this movie? 12 Angry Men. I think everyone should see this movie. It's appropriate for the whole family. It does deal with some themes of violence, but it's never shown on screen. It's only talked about. It's a courtroom drama, and it all takes place in one room with 12 different men, all trying to decide, is this man guilty or isn't he? And it deals with how humans are and how we have prejudices, and how some of us, you know, with what we're dealing with in our personal lives can affect our choices that affect other people's lives. So it's a very fantastic movie. It's old, but it's beautiful, and it's a very classic movie. And it's got great acting, and if you can sit through 90 minutes of pure dialogue, it will keep your attention. So check it out. It's a good movie. Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Now, my original review of this, I don't remember the rating I gave it, maybe a 6 or 7, but upon rewatches of it, it has gotten better in my opinion. I finally sat down and watched the Ultimate Edition, which is what the director originally filmed it and edited it to be, and the studio decided that they wanted him to cut it down by half an hour because they wanted more like time slots in the theater. But I did finally sit down and watch the Ultimate Edition compared to the theatrical edition, and the Ultimate Edition feels like a different film, in my opinion. And it made me just fall in love with this movie. I wish I had never seen the theatrical version, because the Ultimate Edition is how it was meant to be, and it's how it should have been, and it's a much better movie. That's also in my honorable mentions, because it's one of those movies that gets better as you watch it. Okay, last but not least, on my honorable mentions is... Can you figure it out? Da 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 da! Star Wars: The Force Awakens. This movie is completely awesome. I love this movie. It reignited my love for Star Wars, and it also stars my favorite actor of all time, Harrison Ford. And I got to see it at the theater like a few weeks after it opened, and I got to see it with all my siblings, which was cool. And it's just a very enjoyable movie. It's a well-done movie. J.J. Abrams is a fantastic director. He did a great job on the first 2 Star Treks, Star Trek and Star Trek Into Darkness, and he did a fantastic job on The Force Awakens. Introduces new characters. It kind of does have a similar story as the original Star Wars, but it does it in a fresh new way that's also familiar. And it's a really cool movie. The acting is really good, and it's one of those movies that you can sit down and just enjoy watching, or you can sit down and be real serious about it. So I've watched it 10, 12 times since it came out last year. So yeah. So those are my honorable mentions. Thanks for watching this super long video. I'm probably going to cut it down. Oh, wait, there's one more. It's on the ground here. Hang on. This movie that I almost forgot about is a new release movie, and I have a feeling it is going to make its way onto the top 10 list, my top 10 favorite films, but it just hasn't yet. But I've seen it 4 or 5 times already since I got it at Christmas time, and it's one of those movies that's just so entertaining. It's really cool, and it's cool to see a new movie from an old genre that you don't see a lot of anymore. The Magnificent Seven, starring Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt, and a bunch of other people. 5 other people. 7. Yeah, 5 other people. It's a Western, and it's awesome, and it was actually filmed on film, which was cool, and it gives it that feeling of a Western movie, but yet at the same time also a modern movie. But Boy, the cinematography in this movie is just beautiful. The way the shots are set up, the location, the soundtrack. The soundtrack is awesome in this movie. I actually bought the soundtrack on CD because I want to listen to it like all the time. Denzel Washington, again, like I said with my review for Remember the Titans, he is probably, arguably, one of the best actors in Hollywood right now. Maybe not right now, but best actors in Hollywood just in general. He's so good at what he does. The gripes I have with this movie, which I will get into on a further review, because I do want to do a review just strictly of this movie, but the only gripes I have with it are that there are so many characters that are very interesting, that you want to know more about, that the movie doesn't have enough time to explore and expand upon. It's really cool. The gunfights are awesome. The last half an hour of this movie is just amazing. I definitely recommend checking it out. So yeah, those are my honorable mentions. Like I said, I forgot that one. That was on the floor. I don't know how it ended up there, especially seeing it's on my honorable mentions list. It should be on a shelf somewhere. Thanks for watching my video. I might actually split the honorable mentions up from the top 10, because the top 10 took a lot longer than I thought it was going to. But yeah, thanks for watching. Check out my channel. I hope you liked my top 10. What are your top 10 favorite movies? You can write those below in the comments. And subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. Some piano playing, some skits. Just some fun stuff, me rambling on and on and on. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. I hope you liked it. And until next time, goodbye.